The Secretary of Homeland Security, the Honorable Kristi Nome, accompanied by Minister Sakari Puisto and Ambassador Kirsten Hillman. Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthems. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Good morning, Madam Secretary, Ambassador Hillman, Minister Puisto, Congressman Weber, Congressman Higgins, members of the delegations from Finland, Canada, and the United States, and all of the distinguished guests that are joining us here today. My name is Admiral Kevin Lunday. I'm the Acting Commandant of the United States Coast Guard, and it's my honor to welcome you all to the Douglas A. Monroe Coast Guard Headquarters building for this principals meeting for the Icebreaker Collaboration Effort, or ICEPACT. Today marks a significant milestone in our shared commitment to advancing Arctic security, industrial cooperation, and workforce development. Together, we're forging a path to ensure that our nations are equipped to meet the challenges of the polar regions while fostering economic growth and innovation. We're very honored today to be joined by Ambassador Hillman, Canada's ambassador to the United States, and Minister Puisto, Finland's Minister of Economic Affairs. Thank you and your teams for making the long journey here to Washington, D.C., and thank you for your efforts to make ICEPACT a success. Your leadership and dedication to this trilateral partnership have been instrumental in driving the progress that we celebrate today. It is my honor to now introduce for opening remarks the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, the Honorable Kristi Nome. Secretary Nome brings proven leadership experience, a commitment to public service, and a focus on national security and efficient government that drives our Department of Homeland Security's mission to safeguard the nation. Madam Secretary.
Good morning. It's a beautiful morning, and I'm so grateful to be with all of you, and thank you for coming to memorialize this significant event, not just for the United States of America, but for our great countries, Canada and Finland, and the relationship that we're going to continue to build. And that's what we are, is that we are a people of builders. We have a president that has spent his lifetime and his legacy building things, building relationships and projects and futures with the work of his hands, the legacy of his family, but also with a vision for the future of this country. Admiral Lunday, I want to thank you for your leadership as well. The Admiral has been nominated to be our next Commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard, and we're so grateful for his leadership and his commitment to our national security and platform over the many years. I believe it's 39 years?
Almost 39.
Almost 39 years in service to the United States of America. Let's give him a round of applause and thank him for that.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.
And Congressman Higgins and Congressman Weber, thank you for coming today. You have led with distinction. You serve and represent your people well, but you also keep your eye on the ball each and every day about what it means to keep this country safe. So thank you for your commitment and what it means to have your presence here today. It means a lot, not just for me personally, but to the entire room and to the Coast Guard and to these countries that know you'll continue to make sure that our relationship stays strong. So we appreciate you and your leadership. And to the Ambassador and Minister, thank you. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to continue to work together and to collaborate for the strength of our countries. As you know, I'm Kristi Nome. I'm honored to be the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, and today is not just a great day for the United States of America, but for the entire Western Hemisphere. Alongside our partners here from Canada and Finland, the Trump administration is taking a monumental step forward to protect the Arctic against our enemies, bringing good jobs to our American shores in the process, and also strengthening our commitment to our alliances in the region. I do want to thank my counterparts, the Minister of Economic Affairs, Secretary Puisto, and Ambassador Kirsten Hilleman, for joining me here today. I want to thank the Ambassador, who I had the chance to know previously to this role, but also make a new friend in the Minister. I'd also like to thank Admiral Lunday and Mr. Sean Planke for their leadership at the U.S. Coast Guard. Both have been absolutely essential to rebuilding America's icebreaker fleet. And thank you to all of the other industry partners who are in the room, and thank you to those other members of Congress that have committed to getting us to where we are here today. We could not simply have done this without all of you. Today is a major milestone in the race to secure the Arctic for all of our countries. The Arctic is the world's last, most wild frontier, and our adversaries are racing to claim its strategic position and its rich natural resources for their own. If we give up that high ground, then we will condemn future generations to permanent insecurity, and we're not going to let that happen on our watch. this is what brings us here today. To thrive in the Arctic, we need icebreakers. But if we're going to get those icebreakers that we need to secure our supply chains, and we need to invest in bringing our manufacturing back here home to our American shores. And that's why IcePack is such a big deal. It's not just a symbolic agreement, it's one that is delivering tangible results for all of our countries. It's powering our economies, it's strengthening our collective Arctic defense, and it's bringing us one step closer to rebuilding our icebreaker fleets. America has been in the Arctic region for over 150 years. And now, once again, we're acting together as one under the leadership of President Trump. Already we're seeing the fruits of his leadership, and in August of 2025, we commissioned the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Storis, the first polar icebreaker acquired by the Coast Guard in over 25 years. But commissioning the Storis was just the first step. Thanks to the funding secured by President Trump's leadership and members of Congress that are in this room, we are dramatically expanding our icebreaker fleet. The Coast Guard's polar security and our new Arctic security cutter programs are moving forward full steam ahead. We're working hard to develop, to build, and deploy these critical assets so that we can have our warfighters ready all the time and on record time. And this meeting could not have come at a better time. Soon after the Storis was commissioned, Chinese research vessels openly operated in and near U.S. Arctic waters. Their goal was clear. They wanted to test America's resolve. The Coast Guard responded immediately. In fact, we deployed the cutter Healy and a fleet of air assets to the scene, and we escorted those intruders out of our waters. Our rapid response sent a clear message. Under President Trump's leadership, we will defend our sovereignty. And I can guarantee you that President Trump is committed to this mission. In October, he signed a memorandum on Arctic security cutters in the Oval Office, emphasizing the urgency behind delivering these icebreakers to the fleet. And IcePact is going to help us make that happen. By pooling our resources and our expertise, we are going to deliver these vessels on time, and we're going to minimize our costs. Just this year, the Canadian shipbuilder Davies announced a $1 billion investment in U.S. shipyards to build icebreakers right here in America. And companies from Finland are teaming up with American shipyards to deliver new cutting-edge icebreakers. Both efforts are going to continue to create long-term, well-paying jobs for U.S. American-born workers. And on that note, I'm proud to announce the release of the IcePact U.S. National Defense Workforce Plan and Development Plan. This plan is going to set the stage for rebuilding our shipyards and revitalizing an industry that has been left on the wayside for far too long. Not only will these workers be able to provide for their families, but they'll be able to take pride in knowing that their work is absolutely critical for American security, for our economic growth, and for Arctic dominance. This plan will set the stage for future efforts to join even more programs in 2026 and beyond far into the future. Finland and Canada are essential to the success of that mission. And American shipbuilders are some of the most innovative, dedicated, and hardworking individuals in the world. But they have been let down by the policies that put America last. That is changing today. Through initiatives like the Workforce Development Plan, President Trump is bringing this proud industry back to life. And under his leadership, America is restoring our Arctic and our maritime dominance. So thank you again, Minister Pacito and Ambassador Hillman, for your nation's willingness to join us on this mission. May God bless you. May God bless the people of Finland and the people of Canada, and may God continue to keep his hand and protection on the great United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Next, I'm delighted to introduce Ambassador Hillman, Canada's ambassador to the United States. Ambassador Hillman has been a driving force between Canada's contributions to the IcePact, particularly in advancing procurement reform and industrial partnerships. Ambassador Hillman, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. It is a delight to be here with you again and spend some time. This is a very important meeting for us, and we are delighted to be here with you and colleagues. And it's a pleasure to be here with you too, Minister Christo, for this historic, I think, meeting between our three countries that solidifies our strong effort and commitment to the Icebreaker Coalition effort. Today, there is no doubt that we face an increasingly dangerous world. And it is important in these times to build on the relationships with our key allies. Canada, the United States, and Finland are all making economic and security decisions that meet the moment. Just a few short years ago, our ally Finland officially joined NATO, bringing the organization's membership to 31. A net contributor to Defense Alliance, Finland's already contributing with its Arctic capabilities, resilience, and highly advanced military. Finland's membership to NATO is essential for all allies, and especially for those of us who are Arctic nations, so we thank you for that. And every day, of course, Canada and the United States demonstrate our abiding commitment to each other's security. Our law enforcement, intelligence agencies, military and security forces collaborate closely to safeguard the North American perimeter, including the Arctic and northern regions. Canada is taking a number of steps to ensure that we remain a strong and steadfast ally for the United States, whether it's on land, air, or sea. We're investing over $30 billion in our defense security over the next 5 years, which is a generational investment, our largest defense contribution in decades. And we're accelerating investments in the years ahead on a path to meeting NATO's 5% pledge by 2035. Now, let me just share, if I may, a few investments that I think are crucial to the group gathered here today. Canadian and American armed forces have jointly defended our North American airspace through the North American Aerospace and Defense Command, or NORAD, for over 65 years. But we need to keep pace with evolving threats. And so Canada is investing in NORAD modernization by enhancing infrastructure, control communications, surveillance, air weapon systems, science, and technology. Specifically, as Arctic allies, we're dedicated to securing our northern regions, and now more than ever, with the threats that the Secretary has referenced and geopolitical competition in the Arctic. The ability of our armed forces to protect our sovereignty and respond to threats in the Arctic is essential. It is also a tenet of our national nation-building projects in Canada. For example, our new Arctic Infrastructure Fund is going to expand infrastructure in the region, including deep water ports and a sea lift infrastructure to support military as well as non-military functions. Our new Arctic Economic and Security Corridor will include an all-weather dual-use land and port-to-port infrastructure that will increase the capability of Canadian Armed Forces in the North. And we lead Canada in monitoring the North. We take this responsibility very seriously and are bolstering our capabilities, including by establishing Northern Operational Support Hubs and a new satellite-to-ground station so that we can provide year-round presence in the Arctic. These investments will expand Arctic and maritime surveillance and strengthen cyber and space capabilities. But of course, we're also modernizing our maritime fleet to enhance our ability to operate in Arctic waters. In Canada, in 2010, Canada launched the National Shipbuilding Strategy to build modern vessels, including many new icebreakers that are going to strengthen our ability to protect our sovereignty and improve our operational capability. It has positioned us well to participate in this cooperation in the Ice Pact today. By investing in cutting-edge ship designs and advanced Arctic capabilities, we've developed world-class expertise and an ability to deliver state-of-the-art vessels to meet the challenges of the future. We continue to make new maritime investments and stand ready to share our expertise with all of our allies to support a sustainable, peaceful Arctic and to uphold international rules and standards in the region. And of course, as we know, and why we're gathered here today, partnerships such as the Ice Pact are a critical component of ensuring security and sovereignty in the Arctic. By creating this framework to design, build, and maintain the best-in-class Arctic and polar vessels, including icebreakers, this partnership enhances information exchange, industrial collaboration, and research and development to ensure that all three of our nations can respond effectively to Arctic challenges. Since our countries signed the Ice Pact Memorandum of Understanding last year, meetings such as this one have laid foundations for the big announcements and moving forward as we are today. Just last month, we celebrated the U.S. launch of an icebreaker fleet renewal initiative that will be supported by Canadian shipyards. And both Canada and Finland, who are recognized leaders in icebreaker design and construction, will leverage our expertise to maximize joint capabilities with our American friends and colleagues in icebreaker development. In this case, the United States has selected a multi-purpose icebreaker developed by Canada's Seaspan and Finland's Aqua-Arctic for 6 of its new Arctic security cutters. Canada's Chantier Davy, working through its shipyards in Finland and the United States, will contribute to the fleet renewal by building 5 icebreakers. This type of collaboration, facilitated by the Ice Pact, is not only a step towards maritime security, but it drives economic growth, innovation, and supports many good-paying jobs here and in our countries. The joint statement of intent that we're signing today will make sure that we build on this work. Central to that statement is our continued commitment to strengthen our combined industrial capacity and cooperation, and so we will work even closer together with our Ice Pact partners to help keep the region safe. In particular, in 2026, we're going to work to further enhance our industrial cooperation, to boost our combined shipbuilding industries, to design, build, and market Arctic and polar icebreakers and other vessels. We'll emphasize workforce development, including exchange of personnel for training among the participating countries, and we will work to determine the best technology, design, and method to produce the best-in-class icebreakers. To ensure that we remain the best in the world, we will promote even more research and development initiatives and benefit from the expertise and innovation of each of our 3 countries to advance the technology for polar vessels. So we're delighted to be here today, signing the joint statement of intent alongside our dear colleagues, and we're looking forward to our discussion a little later on to find ways to continue to meet the moment, this difficult moment, but a moment that, working together as allies, we are confident that we will be able to meet and succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador Hillman. It's now my honor to introduce Minister Sakari Puisto, Finland's Minister of Economic Affairs. Minister Puisto has been a steadfast advocate for industrial cooperation and innovation among our nations, and his leadership has been vital to IcePac's success. Minister Puisto, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and good morning, everybody. Distinguished government leaders, Secretary Nome, Ambassador Hillman, highly esteemed members of Congress, colleagues, industry representatives, friends, Admiral. We are gathered here to celebrate more than a one-year milestone in IcePact cooperation. We are celebrating the continuation of a vital alliance, one forged in the harshest environment on Earth, the Arctic. The High North is not the easiest area to operate. It's a frontier defined by overwhelming beauty, pristine nature, and uncompromising challenge for seafaring. It demands respect, resilience, and above all, right type of capabilities. Today, we honor the indispensable partnership between Finland, Canada, and the United States, a partnership defined by shared strategic vision and a commitment to ensuring that the Arctic remains open, free, secure, and navigable for generations to come. This cooperation is fundamentally enabled by a critical piece of engineering, an icebreaker. And that brings us to the heart of the matter, the reason this partnership is so uniquely successful. Ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about breaking ice, we are not just talking about mechanics, we are talking about national competence. For Finland, navigating ice is not merely a technical skill. It is our maritime heritage, ingrained in our culture for more than a century. It began not as a strategic military imperative, but as an essential requirement for survival and trade. If our ports froze, our economy froze. With this experience, Finnish innovation sets the global standard for icebreaking technology. When Canada and the United States partner with Finland, you are not just acquiring a vessel, you are investing in proven resilience and the cutting-edge know-how and proven shipbuilding capabilities. We have pioneered multiple technologies and innovations now used worldwide. The advanced hull shapes, special materials, paints, electric propulsion, the azimuthal propulsion systems, which is a maritime propulsion systems where propellers are mounted so that they can rotate 360 degrees, and the ability to operate reliably year-round in extreme conditions, both in the Baltic and polar regions. The expertise is not theoretical. It is tested and guaranteed by millions of nautical miles logged in the world's most challenging ice conditions. This deep knowledge and closely knit icebreaker ecosystem, from the designers in Finland to the steelworkers in the yards, is what we bring to this partnership, and in a timely manner. We offer not just capability, but confidence. The confidence that these critical vessels will perform when needed, safeguarding your security, your missions, and the future of peaceful Arctic for all of us. Esteemed attendees, the Arctic is changing. As climate shifts, so does the strategic role of the Arctic. It means more activity, open shipping lanes, and a more important region for national security. The need for reliable, powerful icebreakers has never been more acute. Icebreakers enable us to maintain sovereignty, to assert presence, provide search and rescue, national defense, and necessary logistical support to remote communities and to enable commerce. To keep global sea lanes open, connecting our economies across the northern passages. This is why our trilateral cooperation is a model for the world. It demonstrates that security and development in the Arctic are best achieved through shared commitment, shared resources, and shared technology. But the challenge is hard and complex, like ice. The steps we have already taken are significant. Joint constructions of the vessels is the most effective way to get things done and gradually build the confidence and capacity up. It is inspiring to see the new icebreakers forming at the shipyards. We are not just building ships, we are building a more secure and stable Arctic future. The meeting today is a powerful reminder that the best solutions are built together and the greatest challenges are overcome through trust. Finland is proud to stand with our partners and allies, the United States and Canada, lending our specialized knowledge to this indispensable mission. We pledge to continue pushing the boundaries of joint Arctic shipbuilding and engineering, ensuring that the vessels we deliver are not just excellent, but best in class. Let us not view the ice as a barrier to be broken, but as the surface where we can skate smoothly and fast. We look forward to the enduring ice-backed partnership between Finland, Canada, and the United States to encourage all the men and women who design, build, and operate these very magnificent ships. Kiitos. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Buisto. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move to the signing of Joint Statement of Intent, a document that acknowledges the achievements of IcePact since its formation in November of 2024 and formalizes our future shared goals and commitments under the IcePact. This Joint Statement of Intent reflects our collective determination to strengthen industrial capacity, enhance workforce development, and secure the polar regions through trilateral cooperation. I now invite Secretary Nome, Ambassador Hillman, and Minister Puisto to sign the Joint Statement of Intent. Thank you, Madam Secretary, Ambassador Hillman, and Minister Puisto, for your partnership, leadership, and dedication to this initiative. With the signing of the Joint Statement of Intent, we've taken another step forward in ensuring that our nations are prepared to meet the challenges of the Arctic and the southern polar region while fostering economic growth and innovation. I now invite all attendees to remain seated while the press comes forward.
two consortia that are involved in this ice pack. The order by Mr. Trump, he ordered 11 icebreakers, and they are built by two different consortia.
And they use Finnish and Canadian technology and design.
Secretary Nome.
Yes.
Why not see some of the evidence of the boat strikes in Venezuela? And what does the administration want we can do?
We'll keep the topics to specific to this event right now, since we have the minister and ambassador here. Did you have any questions?
Well, speaking of that, however, we are still talking about waterways. So has there been any discussion about the U.S. strategy with drug boat strikes, which have been south, but to your point, there's been any...
But it's the president's prerogative what we need to do in order to protect our people, and he's been very aggressive in going after narco traffickers and those in the Caribbean who are perpetuating the sale of drugs into our country. So he's going to continue to use the tools that he has under the authority of the President of the United States to protect our people.
Another question from Canada. How are you feeling about the level of cooperation you're getting from the Canadians on border security and personal concerns that you have?
We continue to have those discussions with Canada on our northern border and what we can do to make it more secure, know who's crossing the border, and also what products or goods may be crossing the border. So we've had some good progress, and I appreciate their focus on that. While we build on our national security partnerships to build these cutters to facilitate that kind of industry, but also to conduct research together that we've been able to do, not just in the Arctic region, but through this process, and to make sure that we're perpetuating this kind of proliferation of economic strategic success that we can do together.
Secretary?
Well, I would say that all of us would agree we'll never see enough progress until it's completely stopped. I mean, that's what all of us want, and that's the heart of our country and our leadership, is that fentanyl and drugs will completely be obliterated so that we don't have to see families suffer like we have from the type of loss of addiction that they struggle with. But we'll continue to work on that.
One of the things that we've done with Secretary Nome and her colleagues over the last number of months, Canada's invested $1 billion in additional border security, and we now have eyes on the border, which is over a 5,000-mile border, 24/7. So we feel like we're making a very important progress since the Trump administration came into office. As the Secretary says, any fentanyl is too much, but we're doing our very best to use both of our abilities, both of our capabilities to protect both of our countries.
Secretary, sorry. Thank you. Yesterday, the administration sued California over its new law banning mass federal agents. How do you propose balancing the need to protect agents with what the FBI has said is an increase in kidnappings and assaults of regular residents?
It's been an extremely dangerous situation for a lot of our law enforcement that have been out there enforcing our immigration laws, but also those that are out there getting dangerous illegals off of our streets that shouldn't have been here in the first place. So I'm proud of the administration for pursuing California for that action. I expect that we will win. They do not have the authority to trump what the federal government has put in place constitutionally, and so we will win. It's just unfortunate that every day we have to fight these radical decisions coming out of leftist judges who care more about their agenda than they do protecting the American people.
But on the issue of the icebreakers, wondering if you can address the number that the U.S. is willing to build within the U.S., the timeline of that, and then how that development is pushing the U.S.
Sure. So what we have done is President Trump has signed an agreement that have put 11 cutters under contract. So they will be built out over the next several years. In fact, the first couple of cutters are already under construction in Finland. This partnership with our countries is extremely strategic and efficient in the fact that they will be continuing construction while they train our workforce and build shipyards here in the United States to repurpose our shipbuilding activity and industry back in the United States. So we've got several underway. 4 will be built with the partnership with Finland and Canada, and then the rest will be built in our own shipyards when they get up to speed and get online. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Excuse me, Secretary. We are seeing a lot of detention centers going crowded. I mean,
We still have beds available, and we're still continuing to build out more and more capacity in our detention beds, and we have returning more people home to their home countries than before. I'd encourage everybody, even if they're in a detention center, you still have the option to go home voluntarily. So if someone's sitting in a detention center and decides, you know what, I'm out, I want to go home, we'll fly you home today.
Are you hoping they do?